Chapter 6: Activating Your Manifestations. The first half of this book focused on discussing the major manifestation principles involving not mind. The purpose of that is to lay the groundwork and provide a basic understanding of this material so that the mind has something to work on, wrap itself around, while we explore this process. If we had launched into the process immediately, the thinking mind would have protested, not understanding what this whole thing is about. The process becomes easier if we quiet the thinking mind first, so we can more easily and consciously shift into the state of not mind. In the previous chapter, I discussed certain hallmarks of mindless manifestations. Here, there is a marked absence of any struggle, stress, or strain. Even the slightest negative feeling or emotion is not there because mindless manifestations do not depend on positive or negative emotions. Notice that when I manifested a tidier living space through not mind, there was not an ounce of effort or quote-unquote should involved in the whole process. There was not a sense of responsibility or obligation that I absolutely had to get something done or force myself to do it. Everything just happened spontaneously and naturally. If there was an action to be taken, I took it spontaneously and without question. I became part of the action. It would be impossible to separate the me from the manifestation precisely because I became part of the circumstances I wanted to manifest. The second hallmark is that there are no prescribed lists or steps to follow. My conscious thinking mind did not know how things were going to turn out in advance. In the previous example, I did not see that I could hide one piece of furniture behind another or decorate the space in a certain way. Everything just happened from beyond the mind. It is only when I look back that everything makes sense to the thinking mind. This is what Steve Jobs famously conveyed when he said that we can only connect the dots looking backwards, but not forwards. As someone who has manifested great success in his life, it is safe to assume that he has somehow tapped into the flow and rhythm of these timeless manifestation principles. Therefore, the best favor that the thinking mind can do for you is to step out of the way. Stepping out of the way and spending as little time as possible thinking about your intentions or manifestations is the most efficient way of making them happen. Of course, this has to be a true stepping out of the way. Avoid the urge to turn this into yet another process. The mind has a tendency to insidiously turn things into procedures or practices to follow. Oh, if I did X, then Y would happen. Or if I stopped thinking about my intentions or manifestations, then perhaps they would happen faster. This is precisely what we are trying to avoid here. The mind is always trying to identify all the possible X's such that your manifestation, Y, can happen. But it does not know any better. The guesses of your mind are based on past results and past experiences. When you rely on your mind for manifestations, you slow down the process tremendously because you also get in touch with all your previous negative experiences and others' misconceptions. Bypassing your mind, as I have repeated for the umpteenth time, is way faster and more efficient. So how can you mindlessly activate your manifestations? Let's get into it right now. First, quickly bring your intention to your awareness and think about it purely. Connect with the essence of the manifestation instead of all related feelings, thoughts, or emotions. To do so, we want to bring the intention to your awareness and then drop it. That's all we want to do. In actual practice, this means bringing your intention into your conscious awareness and putting your attention on it for no more than a few seconds. In fact, anything less than a second will be ideal. Next, resolve to let not mind handle the manifestation of this intention. Again, do not make a long process out of it. This is not a repeated affirmation or visualization process. You just simply make the resolution or conscious decision and then move on. Once again, this step takes no more than a few seconds and ideally less than a second. When you resolve to let not mind handle the manifestation process, in essence, turning the process into a mindless one, the mind will protest and say, "Oh, what is happening?" The mind does this because it cannot perceive anything objective happening at all. There's no mental or physical activity. There are no words or explanations that the mind has been so used to. As I explained in my book, Instantly Directed Manifestations, the mind is not used to having nothing to work with. But at the same time, we want to avoid feeding it any further or inviting it into the process. So each time your mind comes up with a noticeable objection, for example, each time it asks, "What is happening?" just gently let the thought go and do not follow it. Drop it completely. Do not entertain that thought. Do not attempt to answer it by making up some kind of story about what is happening. We are moving into the stateless state of not mind. Anything that is beyond the mind cannot be understood or grasped by the mind. The only thing left to do after this step is to be part of your desired manifestations. Let us use not mind to remove the need for repetition or effort to be part of your manifestations, starting right now. Let us remove the need for any kind of specific lists, steps, processes, rituals, or practices. Dissolve the need for all of those using not mind. Let us then invoke not mind to activate fast, spontaneous, and natural manifestations for everyone reading this book. Let us remove the element of time and space, slowness and waiting from our physical manifestations and replace it with speed and direct connections to what we ask for. Most importantly, let us use not mind to dissolve the question of what should I do next. Let us use not mind to completely dissolve any questions about physical activity, taking the right physical action, or what actions we can take to contribute to the manifestation process. Give up the need to use physical activity to contribute or compensate for anything. If action is needed, it will be taken spontaneously by yourself or someone else. Let us give up and dissolve any old beliefs that action is necessary or that we need to know what action to take beforehand. Let us dissolve any need for proof or any need to be convinced. Let us use not mind to dissolve the need for a belief in something before it happens. Belief plays no part in the manifestation process apart from convincing the thinking mind. As we initiate these activation sequences for all my readers and students of this material, you may perceive some subtle change in your own life. The first change is how much quieter you feel on the inside. While you may have previously felt the need to do something, like making lists or repeating affirmations, all those needs could just drop away. you no longer feel drawn or compelled to do them. The second change is how the intention no longer holds the same attachment for you. This does not mean that the intention is weakened. It merely means that we are getting less attached to the outcome and letting not mind take care of the situation. Some may describe this as a feeling of indifference, disinterest, or imperturbability. These are apt descriptions or labels that the mind could use to make sense of the situation. Just immerse yourself in your new state of mind. There is nothing else you need to do. You could start living life more from a state of the unknown. Since the mind seeks to know and understand everything, this state of not knowing could feel unfamiliar or even unnerving at first. But this is a state of not knowing to the thinking mind. Only the mind seeks to know, so its best description of this state is one of not knowing. In essence, this is the state of pure knowing or all-knowing. All-knowingness does not mean that you know every piece of information there is out there, but simply that you know of the presence of something there. You know that this something, pure, unconditioned awareness, exists. Let us use not mind to dissolve the social belief that you need to know what to do next. Instead, use not mind to connect strongly with all actions and all possibilities. Do whatever needs to be done in the moment without distinguishing whether it is going to help you manifest something. If you feel hungry, then eat something. If there is a matter that needs to be attended to, allow yourself to respond to it. Let us dissolve the negative beliefs and misconceptions that I do not know what to do next. Let us dissolve any perceptions of stuckness, being stuck, or being trapped in dead ends. How can an unlimited being ever be trapped? There is only the perception or mistaken belief that we are trapped in a particular situation or limited by particular circumstances. So let us dissolve all of that stuckness or trapped energy using not mind and resolve to be a part of our manifestations in life. When you resolve to live in this manner without second-guessing everything, then life becomes straightforward and spontaneous for you. Notice how you just effortlessly glide your vision across the page, moving from one word to the next, one sentence to the next, one paragraph to the next, and eventually from one page to the next. You do not question the reading process at all. Instead, everything happens just so naturally and spontaneously. On the other end, I do not question my writing process. I just let the words flow out onto the blank page in front of me, one sentence after the next. If you asked me to predict what I would write 10 sentences down, I would not be able to tell you. This is what the conscious mind would call not knowing, but what not mind calls all knowing. After all, the words are already within me and waiting to be written. As you decide to stop reading for today, what task should you move on to next? Let your physical body be led very gently to the next task. Allow your body to be guided and allow yourself to be part of the mindless manifestation action. Every action you take will be in direct connection with universal intelligence. Even something as mundane as replying to an email will be supercharged with energy and completed with ease because you are now one with the creative action and life force. you are no longer critiquing or second guessing that creative force. Let us dissolve all need to second guess and put you in direct connection to your actions using not mind. Any action you take will stem directly from not mind, and you will take them easily and effortlessly from the state of not mind. Action from yourself and others is a natural part of your manifestations and the creative process. If action is to be taken by others, let not mind allow those actions to be part of your physical life experience easily and effortlessly. When you live from this new level of consciousness, you realize that life's purpose is to joyfully create. Use your physical body to enjoy the fruits of your manifestations. The whole purpose of life is not to struggle to barely scrape by. It is to wholeheartedly thrive and be fully alive. By activating these teachings, thriving is no longer another exalted state that one strives to achieve. It is a reality for you right here and now. Let's resolve not mind to fully activate and sum everything up as your complete thriving experience.